Hey, good morning, guys. It is Monday morning, and I wanted to check in with you after a busy weekend for me here in Denver, Colorado. Actually, took the trip to Moab with a client and helped him get through a 50-kilometer race. If you can believe that, 50 kilometers. That's just that boggles my mind. Let me just change that. Yeah, we got some glare from these bright windows that I have here in my office. All right, back to the topic at hand. Why I wanted to check in with you today, especially on this Monday morning, a few things. Last week we talked about the Fortunism follow-up and frequency and recency, which is a hot topic as I go through the comments section of our mentorship program, replying to those of you that have put comments at the bottom of your modules. All right, let's talk about follow-up. So the gentleman that I was talking about in the Instagram, Facebook Messenger last week, I met him over 4 years ago, and he finally reached out ready for a fitness program. So while I was traveling to Moab, I had spotty cell reception. I had very little enough signal in order to get on Facebook Messenger, but I made it a point to stop by a coffee shop. We had a 2-hour delay on I-70 because of an accident. It's still snowing here in Colorado. So being able to travel and intentionally, hey, thanks for tuning in, Ralph. Hope your trip is going great in California and heading out to Honduras here pretty soon. Speaking of that, traveling and working at the same time, it's pretty much a big part of my ideal lifestyle is work from anywhere. Pick up, head out of town at 9:30 on a Friday morning, leave the business to the team. There was a huge seminar here in the building over the weekend. But anyways, I sat down and I intentionally checked in with Facebook Messenger while we had to wait for the snow and the accident to be removed. And with technology today, we can easily do that from anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country. So I check in with him and I say, hey, you know what? Would love to see you next week. I know that you live a little far from the gym, but come on in for that complimentary consultation and I'll get you set up with the right program. Well, he messages me back and says, hey, I've got this great opportunity to be a part of a new project coming up, but I need to add some muscle and I need to look good, feel good, and put my best foot forward. So how does Monday at 10 a.m. sound? Awesome. Send back a quick message that has a link to 7 steps to begin a strength program safely, and then it's got instructions at the bottom on how to become a client in our schedule system. The client was able to book a consultation with me via the schedule system, and I didn't need to go back to my Google Calendar, send him an invite, etc. That's why systems are so important in our business, is to take us as the leader, as the business owner, out of the equation as much as we possibly can so that we can have time freedom to go to Moab with a client, to go on vacation, to travel the world, to travel the country, etc., to get to our ideal lifestyle. So that's our example of fortune is in the follow-up. I continuously reach out to clients who are interested in our programs so that we can help them get out of their own way and book that complimentary consultation so we can find out more about their goals. As you may notice, I got a haircut over the weekend. Another reason why I wanted to jump on Facebook Live this morning. As I was sitting in the chair, I noticed how much gray was coming through, and it was all over my sheet. So I mentioned that to the girl cutting my hair, and I made a joke about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much gray on this black cloth that they put around your neck. Anyways, I don't know what it's called. Apron? Anyways, we start to talking and she's like, oh, I'd much rather have, somebody in my chair with a full head of hair and it be gray, or there's this particular movie star or actor or athlete that she's like, oh, I think he looks much, much better gray. Anyways, I'll stop feeding my own ego here for a second about being gray and get to the point of the story. Well, our conversation kind of went forward after that kind of initial commonality, like, oh, she's cutting my hair, I got a ton of gray, and then she makes a joke about it, and we keep the conversation going. Had no intention of this becoming a business conversation, but it did. It turns out she's an exercise science major student at Metro State University, which is where I graduated from. So we took the next step and learned about what classes she's taken, how far along in the program she is, which professor she likes the most, because my mentor, my advisor, is still a professor there. Got the chance to go back and speak to his class a couple of weeks ago, and I asked her if she'd taken that class before, because I enjoy going back to the campus and speaking so much to Metro State students about my career since graduation so that they know what's available after they're done. Well, she's, mentioning him by name, Dr. Quattrochi, and Julie Mancuso was the professor of the class last semester, and it turns out she was in the class last semester when I went and spoke to those students, and she remembered a few of the key points that I had mentioned in my presentation about building your own business. And she says, I'm looking for a summer internship. What do you have available? And I said, you know what, give me a call, because she's in our niche. She's a female between these certain ages looking to become a personal trainer. She could fit our culture. We don't know that until we actually come in, give her a tour of the space, and show her and share with her what our vision is. How's that for a small world type of a situation, guys? That's pretty cool that I can go get my hair cut from a person I'd never met before, and we have this commonality, and the art of conversation just with somebody at the grocery store, or getting your hair cut, or walking through Moab. Shoot, we had campers at our site next to us that came over and shared our fire pit with us, and we just got to talking. Well, their interests are aligned with our own, and because of our online training methodology and our skills, we could easily coach these marathoners through a program from Denver, Colorado to New Mexico, where they're from. But it's a small community of ultramarathoners as well, so now they can connect at future races that they go to. It's the art of the conversation. So how do we keep that ball rolling, moving the conversation forward, so that we can learn more about each other and see if we can actually be a fit for their life? We don't know that initially, but by using the flow and asking interested questions in what's going on in their world, we can direct that conversation back to fitness or nutrition at any time. It's a great commonality that we have with the people around us, especially if we're at the gym and we strike up a conversation with somebody next to us, or getting my hair cut. Who knew? I mean, shoot, the world is a small place, and technology that we're using in our businesses every day is making it even smaller. All right, and then let's talk about legacy. Well, had I not started that conversation, or had furthered that conversation with someone who I had never met before, who was just simply cutting my hair, providing a service for me, if I had not gone that far in the conversation with her, I'd just been like, oh, it's a Sunday, I'm tired from traveling all weekend, I'm just going to sit here and just kind of mindlessly let her cut my hair. Anyways, what if she comes on board as an intern with us here in the studio, and she becomes the next version of me, or the next version of Jess, or the next version of Ralph that's on the Facebook Live right now? What if we're able to duplicate what we've been able to do through other people like that, from starting a conversation as her customer in her barber chair, that's leaving a legacy in fitness and nutrition. How do I duplicate what I've done with systems that are in place in my business so that we can leave a legacy in fitness and nutrition across the world? And that's a lot about the purpose that we come to work with every single day at Fit Life Champions, and me personally, which is why that book is a huge passion project of mine right now. If you aren't familiar with the book title, if you're not familiar with the content or the topic of the book, follow me on Instagram. I'm talking a lot about it there. @aspirehigher_CSCS. So you can also search me by name, Dave Glaser, on Instagram, and find and stay in touch with what's going on. and how I intend to leave a legacy in fitness and nutrition through coaching other personal trainers. It just so happens that between the time that I checked in with you guys last week and today, everything was in alignment with what my mission and my purpose and my passion in fitness and nutrition has come to be after 5 years of running my own business in Denver, Colorado. So thank you so very much for tuning in. I hope this finds you well on a Monday morning. Our number one goal this week is we should be filling up the white space on our calendar. So go get to it, guys. Book those appointments, book those consultations, and I'll be checking in with you a little bit later. Speaking of Instagram, I put out a poll. I want to know from you guys if you want to hear from me about Facebook paid advertisements. Head on over there and answer the poll in the Instagram stories, aspirehigher_CSCS. Thank you so very much, guys. Talk to you soon.